Hey guys, this is Cam315 and I'm back at it with another video for you guys. And this is a Flash video. Well, this is going to be the season 7 review, which is going to go up Wednesday, not today, not tonight. I'm making this Tuesday night, but it's going up Wednesday. And I'm going to do a review of the season. Now, if you check on my channel, I did review some episodes of Flash. When The Flash came back, I didn't review those episodes, and the same goes with Supergirl. One, I was being super lazy about that, and then two, I was like, well, you know, it's whatever. Whenever the new seasons come and start, that's when I'll do, just try to do daily stuff. And also at the time, it was the last phase of school, for me online as well, because I had to prepare for online finals and stuff like that. And, that kind of also factored into why I didn't make any past videos regarding the last 3 episodes of The Flash. Last 3 or 4 episodes of The Flash, the last couple of weeks. So, yeah, but here I'm going to give my review of The Flash. I'm going to talk about really tonight's episode and my thoughts on it, because I thought tonight's episode was really good. There's some people that thought it was bad, but you got to remember, guys, this was not the intended finale. We were supposed to get the finale actually in 2 weeks, the true finale in 2 weeks, but around that, I think it was the season was supposed to finish in like 22 episodes or something like that. But you guys got to realize, for the people saying it's bad, listen, guys, it wasn't the true finale. So if you expected some grand epic, cut cliffhanger revolving the Reverse Flash or something, we didn't get that because guess what? Because of the things going on in the world, they had to wrap up the season early, as well as all the other DC TV shows, which is really Batwoman and Supergirl. All those 3 shows aren't going to get their intended endings the way they're ending, so they're ending abruptly. And what I say with Supergirl and Batwoman, they'll probably pick up, the storylines, and try to finish them off in like the first half of the season, possibly, or the first couple of episodes in the season, which the Flash is intendedly probably going to do. But still, regardless, I thought this episode was great because, especially in tonight's finales, they had a lot of cliffhangers. Well, they really had 2 cliffhangers, but they had the Iris freaking, end credit scene cliffhanger on where she could be at after they found, where Sing is at. And then you have the fact that Eva gives no rat. Well, she gives no F's now. She put Sue Dearborn as the murderer, so now Sue is a wanted criminal. So I feel like they would have continued this storyline till the end of the season, and by episode, like, the true finale, that's when they would have, like, stopped Eva for good. They would have saved Iris and maybe not put Sue Dearborn framed. But this season as a whole was a really good season, actually. I think it was one of the better Flash seasons, yet, for season 6. Um, because, for one, we had a new showrunner, and the showrunner, he actually split this, season into 2 really different arcs. Like the first arc, which consisted of the first, like, I believe it was like 12 to 13 episodes. It consisted really of Bloodworks, the Bloodworks arc, and then here you get the Mirror Master Eva arc, or Mirror World arc and stuff like that. That it's still technically going to continue into season 7. I thought, the way how they set the season up was really good. They have one arc dedicated to the first half villain, and then you have another arc dedicated to the big bad of the season, like the next villain. Well, I wouldn't say big bad, but the second half villain. Um, Obviously that would have a more devious, more dangerous plot than, say, possibly the first one. Even though I do like Bloodworks, the Bloodworks arc, the Bloodworks arc, I do like the Bloodworks arc a lot. It was really good. I can't really say, much about the Mirror World thing because that storyline hasn't wrapped up, but that storyline was still, it was decent. Here and there was like, meh. but it was still a decent, story arc. And it's a shame that because of what's going on in the world, we can't get the true finale we wanted to see with the true cliffhangers we wanted to see. But like I said, we can wait whenever season 7 is going to be starting. We're just going to have to wait. Hopefully season 7 could start in the fall. Hopefully it can start in the fall in October. Hopefully, I'm just praying, but if it can't, and things are stuff like that, crazy things like crazy things are going on in this world. Like for example, me, I live in California. They just already announced that California is going to be in quarantine for the next 3 months. Huh. Crazy, huh? But anyways, I'm gonna talk about the Bloodworks arc. The Bloodworks arc I thought was really good. I like Bloodworks as a villain. He's probably one of the better Flash villains we've gotten in recent memory. And I say he's up there with Eobard from season one, Zoom from season two. He was legit a legit great villain. His conviction was pretty strong. I just like the things he did, and he just messed, with Team Flash and stuff like that. And then that one episode where he gets inside Team Flash and makes Flash, evil and stuff like that. It was interesting. That one episode where he makes Barry kills the Speed Force, and that was a really good episode. You know, and then the actor, he did a phenomenal job playing as Bloodworks. So yeah, that was really cool. That was really cool. Barry as a whole this entire season, I liked him for the most part. He was pretty good this season. Obviously Grant Gustin plays the character to the best of his abilities, and I like Grant Gustin as Barry. It is still, it's still interesting the decisions you make, and stuff like that. It was cool to see, the internal conflict he had to go through, not only the Bloodworks arc, but as well as, in the second half of the season, stuff like that. It was really interesting to see where he goes. Other characters, Cisco, he was here and there every now and then. He was pretty good this arc. It sucks that he wasn't at all in the finale tonight. I don't know. I don't know where he was at. I don't know where Cisco was at in the finale. I think he said, last week he had to do something or something like that. But yeah, the Ralph Dibny storyline with Sue Dearborn. That was an interesting thing. I actually like that, and I actually like the actor that plays Sue Dearborn. Her and Hartley Sawyer, they have great chemistry. I did hear that they used to be on TV shows together in the past, so obviously it obviously shows that they got chemistry down. So obviously, that I do like the Sue Dearborn. I did like the Dearborn plot because it was kind of like Sue being like an anti type of hero, just really doing the whole. And she was kind of like Catwoman in this. And it's funny because when she first appeared, or when she first did her little super villain gig or whatever thing, she came out with like a leather suit and it almost resembled Catwoman. I think the moment everybody saw that, they're like, wow, she's wearing a Catwoman costume essentially. So I do like the fact, and I do like the fact that they're building to the eventual, relationship of Ralph and Sue. I do like that. It is a nice, little, it's taking its course. Like, it's Ralph trying to turn this girl, into somebody, that he sees as somebody, and that he really does care a lot. He just has yet to say that. But obviously, you can see that Sue obviously sees that Ralph does care about her, and she does respect that, and it's gonna take a liking. I don't think they won't officially probably like legit hook up till maybe maybe the halfway point at season 7. It's going to come to that when they eventually do that, especially with this storyline of the fact that she's essentially a wanted criminal now. So it's like, yeah, which was a crazy plot twist. It was like, what the heck is going on? Now she's a wanted criminal. So yeah. Anyways, the next thing I'm gonna talk about, Iris, the Iris storyline. It's interesting. Who knows where that's going, and especially the cliffhanger. Who knows where she could be? um, she just teleported somewhere, and yeah, and is gone again. And man, that is crazy. But I'm not gonna talk about the finale yet. We didn't see a lot of Candace. No, we didn't see a lot of Killer Frost and frick. My goodness, my goodness. Darn it! I can't believe I forgot her name. You kidding me? I forgot. Caitlin. We didn't see a lot of Caitlin and Killer Frost because the actor that plays her, we all know she's pregnant. Even I went on Twitter the first thing about the episode. The first thing that popped up was her tweet about her baby bump and the fact that the season 7 unexpected finale is happening. You can see that she's obviously pregnant and stuff like that. So that's why she wasn't featured as much. She goes away. She in the season finale, she walks away with her mom to go, I think, to the north. I forgot. I forgot where they're going. But obviously, it's kind of a bonding thing for her and her mom, as well as her and Frost, to get to know each other better and stuff like that. So yeah. But yeah. The first half of the arc I really liked. If you haven't seen my first half of the arc reviews, you can go check that out. I kind of talk about those episodes really, a lot. And, I don't do a review for all those episodes in the first half, but I do like the final battle between Flash and Bloodworks and stuff like that. So I'm not talking really in depth because I kind of really talked about that in the past episode reviews and stuff like that. But I did like the Bloodworks arc. It's actually one of my favorite arcs in The Flash, and honestly, they could have kept that entire arc going on probably for the entire season. Even though it would have probably got stale at some parts, but that's the benefit of having a showrunner say, "Well, let's split two villains into arcs," because from the past seasons where you just have that one villain, it eventually stuff gets kind of stale because then you're putting in filler episodes, and then eventually you run out of things to keep the main villain um you know keep doing his devious acts. And then it's like the one thing, especially going with last season, of the fact is, there would be Flash right there with the main villain. He would stop him, but all of a sudden the Flash, Barry would just let him go, and then he goes. That was the main thing about last season with season 5. The fact that there was time and time again Barry had the main villain trapped. And if jeez, see, and I forgot about the main villain because you know of season 5, which I gotta look back at. But yeah, I remember all the time. Barry had the main villain cornered all the freaking time, and all they had to do was stop him. No, Cicada. This whole Cicada thing. Um, Barry would always have Cicada like literally right locked there, done. He's down for the count. All Barry has to do is arrest him and take him in. But next thing you know, Barry looks away for like a second, like, oh, what's that? And then next thing he turns around, Cicada's gone. That was like one of the episodes, and I was like so heated. I was like, dude, I'm like, how are you freaking just gonna let the bad guy go? Who cares? You know, that was the good thing, the fact that there's two different villains for two different halves of the season, because then you makes these villains away how they escape and stuff. If the Flash actually does confront them in person, like you know, it makes sense. Like, oh, guess what? Um, it makes total sense on how like how can I say how they don't find some cheesy way to make them escape, or some kind of BS way to say like the Flash could have taken care of this earlier, stuff like that. So yeah, but the first half of the season I really liked a lot. It was really good. And yeah, so now the second half of the season, and focused really on Black Hole, the Sue Dearborn storyline, which I talked about earlier, Joseph Carver. And really, I'm going to talk about the whole finale really as a whole. But I guess I can say for a fact, one, honestly, I didn't give a rat's ass that Joseph Carver died. Honestly, I thought he was an absolute a hole this entire season, and I was like, you know what? Who cares that he died? I was like, man, the dude needed to die anyway, so I didn't blame Eva for killing him. I'm like, the dude was a legit douchebag. He tried to get Joe killed for just, trying to expose the truth of the fact that this dude is legit a corrupt guy and a bad guy. I still don't know to this day why, no, I think it was 2 episodes ago, Joe like had him recording where he could have said the thing, and then he pulled out the recording stuff, and he's like, "See, now I got you on tape." And then it's like, Joe, why would you do that? You could just walk out, leave, and guess what? Now you have the evidence to prove that he's, an evil guy. Um, he legit hunted Joe, and he almost made get him got killed by I believe Ragdoll, and stuff like that. I think that's his name. Um, yeah. And then the whole Eva storyline with Iris in the mirror world and stuff like that, and her playing the tricks and everything on Iris, just fooling Iris, that stuff like that. That was pretty good. The actor that does play Eva. I think she's actually doing a fairly good job. She's doing a fairly decent job. Some people might not like her, but I think she's doing a pretty good job as, I guess, playing Eve as the villain of the second arc. Because especially what she did tonight, man, was that brutal. Another storyline that would meaning to happen. It was the Nash Wells Allegra storyline. Now, that would be probably the only other side storyline that I kind of did not really care for. Or I guarantee you nobody really did care for, because it was kind of like, what's Allegra's point to the team? She honestly, if you ask me, Allegra did more in this finale episode than she has ever done, and since she was really even introduced into the series, and mostly because she's gonna be really Nash Wells' little sidekick buddy, little daughter figure to him again. And then the whole fact of how she was all upset about that stuff, it was kind of really petty too. It was like, oh, so you're upset at Nash because he knew a different version of you from his Earth? Why should you get heated at that? Um, and stuff like that. And I'm like, her little hissy fit with him, and the fact that how she just didn't like him, or like him being around her. It made no sense too. That was probably the weakest storyline of this part of the season, on the second half part of the season, because it was like, well, why are you really mad? He's just looking out for you. He's being a guy that's at least being caring. Like, wouldn't you want somebody to care about you and stuff like that? But thank goodness they cleaned that storyline up in the finale, where she kind of just deals with the fact, like, what, this guy's just looking out for me, and I can respect that and stuff like that. And I was like, thank God that storyline's over, because I don't know if they could have kept that up for a few more weeks. Literally, the fact that she just hates his guts for no apparent reason, that was probably one of the bad things about the season and stuff like that. But you know, it was still good. The finale, which I'm going to talk about right now, that was a pretty good finale. Essentially the rundown of that finale is, um, they're trying, Flash and Team Flash burying the others, the exclusion of Cisco and Caitlin. They're trying to stop Eva and trying to find a way to get Iris in the mirror world. So they go to like this warehouse that is run by that is under Joseph Carver, and essentially the mirror David scene kind of burns the place and stuff like that. And they go to Joseph Carver for protection, and they tell him, "Look, we can protect you to keep you safe from your wife Eva, because she's coming after you." Now, Joseph Carver doesn't believe this at first until Joseph Carver's little bounty hunters, essentially from Black Hole, essentially kind of get abducted by Eva in his house, and then when he finally comes back, he later realizes, like, oh crap, she did what they were saying is the truth, and then he ends up going back to them saying, okay, I need you guys to protect me and stuff like that. There's also another side plot of the fact that you know we don't find this out till like the final battle. Sue essentially goes into Black Hole to try to kill Carver, but that doesn't happen because you know Ralph kind of convinces her not to do that and stuff like that, because it's the whole trope of everything, where in any show where it's like, oh, if you kill this guy, what is that gonna make you? That's gonna make you no better. You're just gonna wake up being like, well, I just did that, and now stuff like that. It's a whole storyline where it's like, oh, you want to go try to kill somebody who you really do hate, but once you kill them, what is that gonna mean? You know, they always reuse that story, that plot line all the time. Um, but you know, going into the final battle, you know, Joseph Carver says, "At my industries, we have like this little safe room where you know, um, well, actually earlier, the Mirror David scene comes in because they try to put Carver into witness protection program, and the Mirror scene, the Mirror scene comes in, and he's like, listen." And he tells Barry, like, listen, we'll trade you Carver for Iris. You know, that's a fair deal. Eva has no issues with you. We have no problems with you. You know, just do that and we're cool. Now, Barry does hesitate a bit, and it's funny because Nash Wells helps them all escape, and Nash Wells tells them, you know, saying, I see the other Wells in my heads, and they're all telling me that, you know, the Barry they knew would not hesitate and try to make a decision and stuff like that, you know, which means which means Barry would not even think about, you know, thing. He would have rushed them out of there and stuff like that. Now Barry kind of tries to downplay that, like, well, I don't have my speed like I used to and stuff like that, which is another interesting plot line they still need to address going to next season is how they're going to make this artificial speed force so Barry can have his speed, which I believe they will make him have his speed unlimited again. Um, the other plot line. So it does, and I will say with that, it does create tension. The fact, well, is he losing his speed now? Is he gonna lose his speed this episode? Who knows when he'll lose his speed truly? I do still find it weird how the fact that they said like a few episodes ago like Barry has like this much little speed, but like 3 or 4 episodes he's still using his speed to the max, and you know he always at the time he was throwing temper tantrums and all these, you know, getting upset and heated and that caused him to use the speed force and stuff like that, and it's like, well, ah, you think he'd have no more speed by the finale, but maybe that was the intended original plan that he would have no speed by the original finale. Who knows? Um, it will be funny, but we'll only find that out, you know, by season 7. But anyways, they go to the McCullough Industry. They go to the safe room. Joseph Carver puts up this wall where like nobody can get in. Essentially, the that all fails because his former assassin group from Black Hole essentially kind of turn on him and say now they're working for Eva, even though they say they aren't, but they're really working for Eva because, you know, stuff like that. Because I guess she told him something that he was hiding from them, and then you know you get a pretty epic, you know, fight scene, you know, between, you know, Nash, Allegra, Ralph, and Sue versus the one, you know, black hole looking girl that has the haircut from the like the celestial dragons from One Piece, and then Sunshine, and then Allegra's cousin. Um, well, that was a pretty cool little fight scene and stuff like that. That's when, you know, some characters get their moments and stuff like that. In the meantime, you know, what is it? In the meantime, Eva eventually finds Joseph Carver, and it looks like she's going to kill him by using the mirror shards and tries to stab him. And then Barry comes in, he takes the freaking, you know, mirror shards through his body. And I was like, yikes. And then we get one of the, man, talk about one of the most brutal ways to die. So Eva just is like, Flash, don't even think about getting in my way. I'm just, you know, here to kill him, Joe, my husband, and boom. All of a sudden, this girl makes one of the mirror pieces not only go right through Barry's, you know, freaking chest, and freaking it pierces Joseph Carver's like chest area, and then he ends up dying. I was like, damn, he really went out in a freaking crazy way. Literally mirror shard went through Barry and kills him. I was like, damn, like they really had to kill him. I knew I figured the dude had to die, but I was like, shit, he died pretty brutal. I was like, Jesus, just imagine getting stabbed with a mirror shard. My God. Now, my personal opinion, I didn't care that he died. Really, if you ask me, Joseph Carver was a legit a-hole. Like I said, he was an a-hole to Iris. He was an a-hole to Joel. He was, I'm Joe. He was an a-hole to Barry at the start of the finale. He was like, I don't need your help anyway, so move on. You know, you best leave your way and stuff like that. And he was bringing even making mentions about Joe in tonight's episode, where he's like, "Oh, did you're gonna hit me like Joe hit me or something like that?" I'm like, dude, was that really necessary? I was like, you're in. So I didn't care that Joseph Carver died at all. I was like, honestly, if you could tell me there's a character that could die this season, he could die. I could care less. So, anyways, Eva calls off her troops and stuff like that. Even though Barry's like, "Look, we're not gonna stop looking for you. We're going to stop you." And Eva's like, "Listen, I'm not here to you do anything. I just want to be left alone. Look, I'll leave your team alone as long as you leave me alone," and stuff like that. So Eva's like essentially kind of making a little bit of a threat, saying like, "Listen, don't mess with me right now, because it don't matter how it ends up. You're not going to stop me." Which she actually does say in the finale before she leaves. She does tell Barry like, "Look, you're not. Whatever you do, you're not going to stop me, regardless of what you say you're going to do." Um, and then the finale ends out with her giving some press conference at the CCPD precinct, and essentially she's telling a whole bull-faced lie of saying like, I was kind of trapped by this secret government organization and stuff like this, and my husband found me, he saved me, but before that he was cold-blooded murder, and stuff like that. And then, we later find out it looks like Sue said she's gonna go back home and go live with her parents. But then Ralph comes in and she's like, "Yeah, yeah, you can't do that because McCullough framed you for Joseph's death." So now, essentially, like One Piece, um, Sue has a bounty on her head because Eva McCullough is telling a lie, which, my goodness. So that will only keep, I'm guessing, Sue in Central City, and that will also build the. Also going into next year, will build the Ralph and Sue relationship more. Which I think when that whole storyline's over, I think Ralph's gonna try to convince Sue to stay in Central City instead of go back home with her parents. And then that's when they'll probably just have their kiss moment and then hook up. Um, and stuff like that. And then the finale cutscene, because in the mirror world, Iris was looking for where Sing was at in the mirror world, because we all know Sing's somewhere in the mirror world because not Carver, because Camilla was there too. So she kind of does the whole thing where she's not supposed to look at the mirror technology because it kind of messes with her mind, and she ends up finding, and at the end of the episode, she ends up finding where Sing is at, which is Central City Hospital. So right before she thinks about going there, all of a sudden she has the whole little brain head thing, and then all of a sudden she just mirror turns and she looks up at Camilla, and all she sees is like mirror stuff and like that. I'm like, what the heck? Like, is she like gonna have mirror powers or something now, or something, and then all next thing you know, she goes poof. Well, she like kind of compresses and materializes into something, and then she's just gone. And then you get the to be continued, scene. I was like, what the hell? You just had to lift it off on a cliffhanger like that? Really? Really? I'm like, the Flash did us dirty. Now we don't know when season 7's coming back. The finale was good today. The finale was good. And season 7 was good as a whole. I thought, like I said, I thought it was one of the better seasons up there. It's not my favorite season of The Flash, but it's definitely in the top 5 seasons of The Flash. And you cannot deny that. There will be some people that might not like this finale, but at the same time, I can say to them, listen, this finale to you may not have been good, but it was actually a pretty damn good finale. And then two, listen, if you were expecting anything grand and you were expecting like you were gonna see Reverse Flash, buddy, they've already confirmed that, like, the director of the Flash, even Grant Gustin himself on an interview said, "Listen, we're gonna continue the storyline going into season 7. So what the original finale was gonna be will not have that. This is kind of an impromptu improved version. So for the people who complain in the fact, where's the Reverse Flash and stuff like that? When are we gonna get a ending cutscene revert?" Dealing with a Reverse Flash and stuff like that. Fools, we'll get that soon. They have to finish this storyline, which they couldn't do that. The finale was probably going to end in like the true finale was going to probably happen in 2 weeks from now, maybe 3 weeks from now. People, you just got to think about it. It's like people who are having some grand expectation, like this is gonna be like some grand finale. Remember, this ain't the true grand finale. If it was the true finale, season 6 finale, okay, then you would have probably got what you expected, Mo. But this wasn't. This was kind of an unexpected, spur of the moment. They had to do this because of what's going on in the world. So you got to think about it. Listen, they're going to pick this up back in season 7, and we're going to continue in this storyline, and we're going to see how the storyline will end. I envision this will probably end in the first maybe 3 or 4 or 5 episodes of season 7. Who knows when? It's going to be interesting where they do it. Will they probably rush some episodes starting season 7 because of that? I envision that, yeah. So I think you can say if season 7 starts off feeling a little bit rushed, you can't really blame them because they want to kind of freaking, you can't really blame the Flash writers team because you want to be like, well, they're trying to finish this storyline up because technically this storyline shouldn't even be at any part in season 7. So I envision, the first couple of episodes might seem a little bit rushed, and some people might complain about that, which you shouldn't hold them or complain about because you got to think about it. It's like, well, let's be real. None of this stuff should have been in season 7 to begin with. So of course they have to rush through this stuff possibly. So I probably won't hold them accountable if they rush through some stuff in season 7 when we get there, because it's like, well, I can't blame them with what's going on in the world. It what we're getting here shouldn't be even in season 7 to begin with. But yeah, so yeah, the cliffhangers are pretty good. I mean, we still have that cliffhanger of when the hell, the artificial speed force is going to be made. Joe also does come back to assist. He comes back from witness protection program, and everybody's like, like, oh wow, why are you here so back? And he's like, well, apparently, which makes total sense. If the guy who's actually hunting you down, trying to kill you, you find out is dead, you can actually be like, well, now it's time to come on a witness protection program because you're fine, you're safe now. You got nobody putting a bounty on your head. So yeah. And that's really Lynn. Like I said, the Iris end credit scene, which is season F, ends off with the to be continued scene. And we're gonna have to wait till season 7 until we find out what happens to Iris, as well as what the hell is up in that some people are speculating maybe Eva's the one that maybe stopped Iris from going to the hospital because maybe there's something in the hospital that could be very important. That's another thing to look for. Maybe there's something in that hospital that's very, and I mean very important. So yeah, now will Camilla go to the hospital to find Seeing? I envision she might do that because that's the only thing she's got left to do. I don't think she can stay around trying to look around for Iris. I know if I was in that situation, I'd be like, okay, I'm going to the hospital and telling Seeing that Iris was here, but she's gone now, and you're in a mirror of us. But yeah, season 7 was a really good season. I liked it, and I can't wait for season 7. Who knows when season 7 will return? Hopefully, it comes back by the fall. I will find it hard if it doesn't. But who knows? We'll see where season 7 will start and stuff like that. So yeah, that's all I gotta say. So if you like this video, leave a like, and if there's a comment you want to put regarding the finale and this entire season as a whole, and if you liked it, and I guess your rankings on seasons, put it in the comment section. I'm not gonna rank my seasons. Um, you know, maybe not now. But I kind of just doing this right out at the spur of the moment. But yeah. But yeah. But also look forward to Black Lightning, Batwoman, and Supergirl. My whole season reviews for that. So yeah, I also will probably also do an Arrow season 8, season review too. So yeah, so you'll get Batwoman, Black Lightning, and Supergirl their season reviews all next week, and my thoughts on the other DC TV shows as well as Arrow, as well as look forward to, I know, next week the review, episode 1 review, and my thoughts on Stargirl, which will essentially, I guess, replace the time slot of the Flash next week. So which it seems to be another DC CW TV show. I'm intrigued to see what that show is like. I don't know much about Stargirl or anything, but it's going to be intriguing to see what that's like. So next week I will give my reviews and analysis on that episode 1 of the season premiere. Other than that, I'm going to get out of here and I'm going to catch you guys on the next video. Peace.